Cost an extra $2 billion. Didn't plan that out. Thank you. Well, I just washed my hair, so I thought I'd give it a rinse. Thanks, Jet. Anyway, this is the deal. Obama is like Bush, and I tried to tell you that in 2008. So now what does the Democratic Party do? Trying to assassinate my character, claiming that I'm some sort of a racist when all I did was a parody video. Hasn't anybody seen Saturday Night Live, for crying out loud? What is wrong with these people? And they come in my show and then crap all over it and think, well, they're going to stop me. Somehow they're going to stop me. Well, you cannot stop the voice of reason. You cannot stop the truth. And the truth is what this entire event is all about. We are trying to get to the bottom of why this country has to have a massive military machine greater than any other country in the world. In fact, we put more into our military budget than all the nations combined. Why do we have to be at the brink of war all the time? Why do our leaders continually push into countries we don't belong? And why is this nation being held hostage by its own military leaders? Well, this city that we live in this little town here in Oak Harbor and in Washington, Whidbey Island Naval Air Station, is a pivotal benchmark for what the country could be. We could have UAV production here. We don't need massive jets flying over our head, burning out our eardrums or killing us or causing strokes. We need intelligence, not a bunch of stool pigeons and idiots in the Navy standing around going, well, I think jets equal jobs and you need to stop talking. Because frankly, you don't have the right to talk. They aren't in my country. They're in Nazi Germany. These people are in the communist regime of Stalin. They are not in my country. And I will not sit here and just accept it like some mindless idiot and just allow these Navy jarheads to walk around here and push their military concept on every one of us. Because frankly, not all of us are Top Guns flying around, you know, aiming their aircraft at innocent people. Let's not forget the chemtrails. And I mean chemtrails. They really are engaged in what is apparently a poisoning of the entire atmosphere across our nation. Across our entire nation, they are using the Western Seaboard as a nuclear, biological, chemical testing zone. This is all by law. You can research it. If you want to go to a website that gives you real good information about geoengineering, I will give you that link right now. You can educate yourself. Anyway, we've got to fight the fight. Growing great, thank you. I'm running against Rick Larson as a write-in candidate, and I believe that I'm going to put a dent in his campaign once I roll out my commercials. Yeah, I'm not fooling around. I'm sick and tired of these right-wing Republicans and left-wing Democrats trying to knock out a third party by cheating. This is not fun. And I can tell you, when they cheated in my campaign recently that I paid my hard-earned money to get into, and Reverend B made a large donation, and I appreciate that, $500. That was the maximum donation he could make. We made a dent, and we got over 4,000 votes. But they took our signs, all our large signs, and basically pulled the plug from our big advertising campaign. Cheating. That's how the Democrats want to control our country, by cheating. Well, tough isn't the best thing to clean up the environment. Dawn is. Tough works well on old upholstery, like if you've got a 1975 Tornado like Vice President Joe Biden has. You can get those clean seats and everything with tough. But I'd use Dawn on the environment at this point. It's not money I invested in. No. It's the money the good, hard-earning money that I put into this, along with campaign funds and what was donated, that's crapped all over by a bunch of scumbags who like to cheat. Wait, let me get the picture here. You like to sabotage campaigns and take away the democracy this country's all about. I get the picture now. Oh, I get it.
Because it produces a kind of toxic airborne.
Well, Jet, that profile is exactly how you Democrats are. Mahatma Gandhi came from a cheating culture. Let's not talk about how he liked to drink his own urine. It's obvious that you would quote Mahatma Gandhi. You have an image on one of the satellites of a defined line moving with a few objects behind it? Okay, thanks. We'll take a look at that. Gandhi had a lot of issues, but he did free the Indian people of the British rule, and let's not forget that. Look, bottom line is, you know it, I know it, the environment needs a recovery. If we want to generate money in this country, we should be developing renewable energy resources, clean, green technologies, things that other countries want, like fresh water systems, things that we need in battle, like UAVs. We shouldn't be spending our money to Lockheed Martin blowing $35 billion a year on a bunch of planes that are already 20 years old. I mean, can any of you even imagine what this world would be like if we didn't have all these jets, all this petrol fuel going into the air, all these chemtrails flying overhead and no one even knows why? Can you imagine what the world would be like? I'll tell you what the world would be like. You wouldn't have a drought in California right now. You wouldn't be facing incredible heat across the Midwest due to what appears to be geoengineering. You'd have a nation that is calm, respectful of each other, not worried and living in angst because of jet noise flying over our head. And you'd have a better message to the other countries of the world saying, hey, America doesn't want to be so badass and kick your butt. We just want everyone to live in peace. Right now they think we're a bunch of stupid ruffians. That's the impression most people around the world have of Americans.
That's what they think?
Stupid ruffians, yeah. People who are brash and stupid and don't even question their own government. Well, I'm a Pisces. Every single destroyer and aircraft carrier floating in the ocean right now dumps its plastic waste. We're talking spent condoms and tampons and medical waste into the ocean. Yeah. Every single aircraft carrier and destroyer and everything in our fleet, every boat in our fleet dumps its waste in the ocean. Let's start with that, okay? Let's talk about the sonar they're going to be doing off the coast here that's going to kill 27 million marine mammals.
Okay.
Well, I'm just a little concerned that that these flybys are just the tip of the iceberg. Obama's been positioning for war with almost every country out there. No, I'm saying the Navy needs to recycle their products. What's your problem? Seriously. Do you have a brain left? I've got people, yes. The people that are voting for me right now support a cleaner environment. They understand freedom of speech. They know that I didn't commit a racist act by parodying the president. The people that support me have a brain power of IQ probably above 120. The rest all go the other way. So we're going to have to try to get some of the people with average intelligence to understand that we cannot keep fighting wars.
Hello, Mr. David Jon Sponheim, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay there, Ed. How you doing, man? Hopefully we'll have a visit from other people tonight in our Stream Up show. We've got a Stream Up show, and you guys can check it out. It's streamup.com/third-party. And get your Chrome browser going if you want to get in there and do an effective job like Ed figured out how to do. Thanks, Ed, for getting your computer going.
You better hope so.
I hope so. Did he call you Discount? Yes, that's one of the nicknames people have called me ever since I talked about how I save money. I don't call myself a discount hunter. I don't buy things because they're on discount. But hey, if something is a clearance item, I consider buying it when it has an 80% markdown. Sure, why not? Yeah, David, you're smart. Well, I'm not really here to shake and bake your universe. I'm here to actually build the platform that will save the American people with the coming economic crisis, which has been put off for years. We've got a waste level in government waste that's so great that we are definitely over budget by nearly $1 trillion this year. We've been over budget by $1.6 trillion every previous year. So we're looking at an $18 trillion debt now. None of your taxes go toward actually funding the country. They go toward paying the interest on the debt. The funding of the country comes from borrowed money. So that's the situation for a lot of you, and we're headed toward a crash whether we like it or not. And I think what the powerful elitists want to do is they want to erase a lot of that debt. So they're going to try to do something to divert our attention, probably start a war. And this has been their pattern all along. This is right out of the CIA playbook. And their goal is to initiate wars all around the world, to continually fragment all nations so that they have to submit to our petrodollar, and force all nations, even the BRIC nations that are saying now they don't like our currency, like Brazil, they're going to be forced into line. This is what's going on. And this is a sad truth, that our country is being manipulated by the IMF and the World Bank. And, you know, when the 2008 debacle occurred, George W. Bush beehived it down to a G20 conference right away, as did Barack Obama. They got in there, and they had to get their handlers to tell them what to do. Our presidents, the past two presidents, have basically been puppets. They do whatever they're told. And our nation is being used as a police force around the world, and a lot of you people who are aware of that know in your heart that this two-party system supports that police state. And the only way we're going to break through into a more peaceful, non-invasive strategy and more of a containment policy around the world is if we have a third party. I mean, here you're seeing Barack Obama's policies right now morph before your very eyes into exactly what my policies were in 2008. You're seeing Barack Obama almost mirror everything on our website. He's talked about fast-track naturalization after I put it on my website. A year later, he starts talking about it. I'm just saying, I predicted the problem in Iraq, and I had a plan to keep troops there, whereas Barack Obama put an ultimatum to Prime Minister Maliki and said, we're getting out. Maliki said, I want you to stay. Barack Obama pulled out, leading to the concept that we have today, a potential bloodbath in cities like Fallujah and Tikrit and Mosul and Baghdad. All right, moving on. Night Fox, ISIS could have their plug pulled. You're thinking ISIS is some sort of a radicalized group. ISIS is actually being funded by the CIA. Your entire focus needs to focus on the roots of ISIS, the training camps in Jordan where they were trained. We need to pull the plug on that. That means the CIA needs to have a new directive. We need a leader, not a guy who sits there like a flimsy suit and smokes Newports. I mean, my God. Stream up. Thank you for everyone for coming in. Ed's here. Yeah, we've got a lot of people. If you want to stream with us live, go to streamup.com/third-party. I'm not sure why we're getting weirdness out of Ed's.
Your browser showing up on the top of the page.
Your browser is showing
are
up.
you talking about the links of like the little site across the top on Vaughn's site? Because I thought you might have pulled that. At least you did. Have you tried refreshing AlphaDog?
Yeah, Al-Qaeda was also a field operation for the CIA. Al-Qaeda was a database that the CIA used of known thugs, Islamic thugs. No, Obama smokes Newports. It's a known fact. CIA runs everything esoteric buffoonery. No, look deeper. The CIA has their fingers in every single problem we have. You just have to look deeper. You're not thinking clearly. You're probably one of those people that thinks terrorism is going to come over here and attack us. You know that the government hasn't even checked incoming luggage? More than 15% of incoming luggage hasn't been checked. So 85% of the incoming luggage from other countries goes unnoticed. So there's not a real threat of terrorism. The real threat came from within our country when they allowed these actions to occur. When Dick Cheney basically took 35 minutes to respond to the attack, the World Trade Center attack, basically he talked to a guy who's no longer living, General Worley. General Worley died in the freakish subway accident in U.S. history. They didn't want people to talk to General Worley as to why Dick Cheney took 35 minutes to respond to incoming, because General Worley probably disagreed with Dick Cheney's approach. He probably was on the other phone saying, "What are you doing? Why do you get the air? Get them in the air right away!" Well, it turns out our nation was running tactical ops through NORAD that day, the World Trade Center attack. They were actually doing a simulation of planes hitting the Trade Center. Now, what's the likelihood that that coincidence could not be some sort of a true event? Seriously. They just said, flip the switch, we're going live. And they went live, and 3,000 people died. Genocide occurred in our country. And you blame it on terror. We're terrorists. Sure, terrorists by some other group. And it wasn't Osama bin Laden. There's no known connection between that event and Osama bin Laden that anyone can verify. We can do that. Somebody wanted to see your cleavage. There is no cleavage. Is that better?
Is that better? I'll go back like
Thanks.
this.
Would you like to see my tie straightened too? You tell me why. Years ago, we need to figure out what happened. Sure. You realize how much corruption is in Washington right now? You don't know, do you? You're one of those two-party people that still vote Republican or Democrat. Well, guess 3378, you're one of the many people that still buy the lie. I'm trying to convince you that there's some questions about that that are just not answered in the 9/11 Commission report. In that case, why we attack in Afghanistan? Or do you not want to learn from history? Because nobody in Iraq or Afghanistan attacked the Trade Center port. They had 17 people, terrorists, were from Saudi Arabia. My hair is drying. So why wouldn't you think our country would attack Saudi Arabia? There's no logic in the report says. They found super thermite in the buildings that proves it was a demolition. Even the owner, Larry Silverstein, said, pull it, get down, Building 7. And there were people in Building 7, and they committed genocide. And you want to sit there and go, that was 12 years ago, what's that have to do with what's going on today? Well, if they're willing to commit genocide 12 years ago, they're damn well ready to commit genocide today, and you could be in their scope. What the hell is wrong with you people? We have a nice backyard, thank you. How do you in the backyard right now?
Talking about what's behind us.
This is just like our backyard.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
except it's not as green.
Yeah, it's kind of dry right now. No, the cure for gout is to stop drinking alcohol. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't know how to engage the browser bar. Anyway, but runs as a Democrat because I'm too much of a hypocrite. Oh, Psycho Sponheim, yeah. I ran as a Democrat to test the waters in the recent election. I was a former Democrat of 30 years, and I found out the Democrats, they've played dirty, really dirty. I didn't know it until it happened to me, and they pulled all my signs down and basically forced about me running. All my big signs were taken, and 50% of my small ones were taken. So these people played dirty tricks, and that's what that last election was all about. And I'm glad I spent the money to find out how they sabotage campaigns. People are running and alcoholics here. Now, a lot of you people may be alcoholics. He's made an entire science of getting people drunk and getting them to do whatever they want. I've heard this is true with the Republicans, too. They just stand around and drink all day. So these are the kind of scumbags that are running our country, in case you're wondering. Greedy alcoholics. My hand washes your hand and rolls out together for a nighter. We'll talk policy. Policy. What a scumbag. Let's go ahead and talk to that other CEO. I know. Oil company. One of the CEOs has openly stated that it feels like he's being attacked like corrupt politicians every time he goes to a speaking engagement. They sweep down on him and they corral him, and he feels like he's being attacked. Every one of them. Hey, can you handle it? I really lost my conditions. I have 35 fleet. It'd be good for jobs. I know a lot of topics in your area. I'm just saying, I've never met a Democrat that didn't have a slur in their voice now. They're all drinking. I doubt many of them are any Seventh-day Adventists, that's for sure. Japan professor, outbreak of cancer is underway in Fukushima children. Clear evidence of epidemic. All Japan is still being exposed to nuclear radiation. It'll be disastrous, increase in thyroid cancer. According to Power J, thank you for that, Power J. We're very concerned about Fukushima, and you know, Barack Obama, since 2009, he hasn't even mentioned Fukushima. You know?
Yeah.
Billions and gallons a day. It's crazy. It makes no sense. You know, many people are using what appears to be like some sort of a psychological attack on us personally. What many of you don't realize is we've been doing this for 6 years, going on 7 years. There's nothing you could say to us in a chat room that we haven't seen already. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Godzillas. Is it that the American people have become so desensitized to being around like fluoridated zombies going, what's on TV tonight? Did you get a six-pack and a pizza? Hey, where are my cigs? My Marlboro is over there. Have me a cigarette, man. Please, be a little more respectful. Yeah, I appreciate that. You're really getting out of control.
I think you're just seeing things.
Yeah, you're fantasizing
It's
too
like
much.
you're seeing like this little, yeah, you're seeing fabric fold on itself, and you're like,
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more to our problem than meets the eye. Let's take a look at this link from Power J on the Fukushima situation. Shock. Water underneath reactors to be dumped into ocean. Increasing alarm. Thank you. We've been profiling a story for some time. Let's take a look at the link that Power J just sent.
The people in charge of Fukushima Daiichi are looking for approval from local fishermen. They want to discharge decontaminated groundwater at the nuclear plant into the ocean. Highly radioactive is into the soil and mixes estimated water leaks into the ocean every day. Engineers with Tokyo Electric Power Company are building an iron barrier along the embankment to try to contain the problem. TEPCO officials plan to pump the water out. Then they'll use a decontamination system they're building to remove radioactive substances. Officials say the barrier and the new system will be completed next month. But they have limited capacity in water at the plant. So they want to release some of the treated water into the ocean. They also want to decontaminate, then release groundwater that's been collecting. The officials say they explained the plan to members of the Fukushima Prefecture Fisheries Association, and they'll try to get approval from the local fisheries cooperative. They say they won't go ahead without the fishermen's consent.
Okay. Increasing alarm at Fukushima, thousands of tons of radioactive material spilling into. We're going to drop out of that. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Laura. Topper Dan, Sarah's here. We're all ready to go to talk about any new idea that you want to consult us on. It's kind of amazing how we hear so little about Fukushima in the mainstream media, and then you hear some news speak from a Japanese news agency. They talk very calm the people. Let's talk about domestic violence. It's happening all around America. In our city of Oak Harbor, it's very, very serious. We seem like a nice city. You look at the crime reports, very low crime, but CADA is very keyed in on real crime going on. A lot of these commanders in the Navy beat their wives. I know, and they take out on their wives because their commanders are beating them up verbally. Yeah, so a lot of problems in Navy towns here. Well, I used to do news in this area as a radio newscaster, as well as the director of news, and I talked to CADA, and they told me it's really high domestic violence in Navy towns and military towns. Apparently, when some guy walks up and his commander says, you know, yeah, they usually go home and beat up their wives. It's true. You know, I don't have any clips from my news career except in my archive, which will be buried in the end of my life, kind of like Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson took all of his film and put him in a vault underground, and no one can really so it's because they're in a vault, literally. Thank you. Well, I've done a lot of news. How do you think I can sit here and do a show every night in the comfort of my work with no real concern for money? Yeah, I worked very hard all my life, and I'm pretty much set and ready to do whatever is needed to be done to help this country. Carson was the greatest. I like Carson. Johnny got along just great. They will be worth a lot of money someday. Yeah, all of our shows are archived, and we're putting together a multi-disc DVD set, Blu-ray, for release in 2025. In the year 2025, you will be able to download all of our shows. Yeah. So news, because I'm a little concerned about Rob Williams and his family right now.
Well, this is what they want to talk about.
Dog the Bounty Hunter's in the news again.
No, he's saying that he's going to track down this reality TV. This.
Oh, okay.
Who beat up assaulted Christy Mack.
Oh.
I guess they were dating or used to be dating in a.
So this is the focus on our show is Dwayne Dog Chapman. Somebody told me I looked a lot like Dwayne Dog Chapman. Riots in St. Louis? Yeah, I heard about that. Dog reminds me of a dog, yeah. Speaking of domestic violence. Hunting War Machine, yeah. War Machine, that's your personal preference, guys. I'm not into mixed martial sport, of sitting and watching people beat each other up. I know people say, David, you look exactly like Dwayne Dog Chapman. I should get my dress up like him right now. I know. I hear you, Topper Dan. Yeah, I could look like Dog. Anyway, what about the possibility that military is over? Well, great. Displaced Yazidis crossing the Iraqi-Syrian border at the Fushkbar crossing in northern Iraq on Wednesday. Thousands who have been besieged have escaped. He may be mentally ill. A link between genius and mental illness. Did it ever occur to you that maybe his two wives that were leeching so much money out of him for alimony drove him to the point where he wanted to kill himself? I'm going to be focusing on a show tonight from a video by Stephen Molyneux. And I need you to pull up our Gmail so we can talk about it. The dodo bird is until 1957 was the last known sighting of a dodo bird. So you're going to start as a CPS agent. I told you, David Nations. See, I said he'd be a good CPS agent. I know people in your area, David Nation, that work at the CPS. I can't them when I found out what they did for a living. Yeah. It is on the Fruit Boots box, yeah. Yeah, one of my relatives is actually a CPS worker, but I haven't talked to them in about, I would say, 5 years.
We'll still talk to you, David Nation, as long as you come in here.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you, David Nation, but he wasn't a bad guy either until they started calling him the devil of Long Island. You know, the white devil of Long Island. That's his new name. He goes into houses and takes families and rips them apart, takes their kids away. He gets a bonus from the government for doing that. Here's another stunning article about Robin Williams.
Where is it?
There it is.
This
The
is
truth
it.
about, yeah. Let's go ahead and click on it, I guess. We're going to take a look at little Stephen Molyneux for a second. He did a 56-minute interview where he talks about he breaks down and cries in the end of this interview. But he's got a lot of followers on the internet, and people really like him. So most of the people that are watching him are trying to get an alternative view. Check this out. Stéphane Molyneux.
Robert's father, Robert Williams, when he was a teenager, his family business went bankrupt, and he actually ended up working in a coal mine in some Fountainhead-style tragedy. And later, Robin Williams' father served in the Navy in World War II and was almost killed when a Japanese airplane crashed into his ship. So that, of course, was probably kamikaze, a suicide bomber. His movie's Dead Poets Society, he based the character on one of his own. And so, of course, this was a tragedy for his marriage, and he said during this time period, he was high on vodka and cocaine. He said, right now I'm moving through my personal life like a hemophiliac in a razor factory, which, of course, would be a death sentence.
Right.
There's a movie, Patch Adams. He said he identified very strongly with a doctor, an American physician, a social activist who also became a clown. He said Patch was so deeply depressed he tried to kill himself, said Robin Williams. But then he found a way out of it by being absurdist. His whole thing about being absurdist is that by helping others, you get back. Before he did Remains of the Day, which sort of...
You know, I hate it when people read off a script like that. You know, I don't blame anyone at this point. I have yet to... No, I'm saying that he had alimony problems. That's what Stephen Molyneux went on to say, and his alimony problems were ramified by a possible jail sentence. And that's what his research was looking at. Robin Williams was looking at a possible jail sentence if he didn't pay out alimony. Many people are wondering what happened and why this man, who was so talented, killed himself with so much to live for. Yeah, big black gorilla having a tickle fight. Oh, I want to see that. Mad Dog. Let's take a look at it. Coco the gorilla misses Robin Williams too. Check this out. A little memory of Robin Williams. Wow, ask that DJ. Really? He was on Prozac? Prozac, David Nation. Coco and Robin Williams. Coco makes a new friend.
Hi, this is Robin Williams. I recently had a mind-altering experience communicating with a gorilla. Her name is Coco. We shared something extraordinary. Laughter. Coco understands spoken English and uses over 1,000 signs to share her feelings and thoughts about daily events. Life, love, even death. It was awesome and unforgettable.
I don't know. Is this kind of racist in a way?
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't think it's appropriate for us to play a video of a gorilla talking to a white man on our show.
This is Coco the gorilla.
I know, but it just seems like it has a ring to it. It just sounds really weird. Yeah, doesn't it sound racist to you for us to do this? It sounds like white people are gorillas. I find that it's a racial slur against white people.
No. Like, everybody's like, what are you talking about? You're cray-cray.
Okay, let's get back to the show.
I'm
going to get something to drink. You can talk to the camera.
Yeah, I am talking to the camera.
Okay.
you. Okay.
You guys can see that Coco the gorilla, Mrs. Robin Williams.
In the kitchen.
I guess I should bring that up.
Yep, that'd be good for the thighs. Like that. There it goes. Yeah.
Your iBlog site is not working? What?
Go.
What? It is, but I am using low bandwidth.
They use sign language, yeah. I wonder if Robin knew the sign language for I want to kill myself and said it to him, and maybe Coco helped him. Oh, am I online? I'm sorry.
Sweetheart. Hey, good. How are you? Just watch the movie. Maybe she needs it. And that's it. You can do this. And I think she remembered your video. It was very funny. And what she wants to drink? Want to drink now? Good. Drink.
It was fun. It was a blast.
If only Coco could have healed Robin Williams' inner turmoil that he masked with his cocaine and alcohol addiction. Yes, it's a shame that he didn't spend more time with Coco, holding and hugging Coco. You know, I went through a pretty rough time in my life where horses helped me cure emotional trauma. And I know that had he been with Coco that fateful day, he probably would not have killed himself. I don't need to visit Coco. I don't have any emotional problems anymore. The horsies help me. I pet the horsies and they soothe me. In fact, I fancy myself as kind of a horse whisperer. I know, Topper Dan, but you sound a little weird just talking like that. That sounds, yeah, weird to me, but it's true. Yeah, it's a good theosophy. David, did you ever have a case of chronic no. Whore dog, I've never done drugs. I don't drink alcohol. I've had a couple beers with friends, and it just, like, doesn't do anything for me. So, no, not a horse crapper, a horse whisperer. Whenever I get near horses, they kind of, like, whinny, and they do this little thing. Please do not vote for Rick Larson. He supports war and the war machine. Thank you. Rick Larson is not the guy you want to vote for. You want to write me in David Sponheim. If you can't see the name, it's on the screen in bold print. I'll be doing the rest of the show with this banner in front of my face so that you won't have to see my ugly mug. Yes, I think it's much better if I just do this. Would it be great if I had like a video of me doing this the whole time and I'll just play it over and over again, and you'd never guess this was a live original show. You'd think it was the same video playing over and over again. Okay, I'm moving it because I'm over here right now. Okay, we're broadcasting on iVlog, Ustream, If you're on a tablet, that's good. Vaughn, Battlecam, and StreamUp. Isn't that amazing? I know, now it's time for Sponheim. That's the jingle. Now is the time for Sponheim. Don't worry about my name. It'll be common knowledge soon, just like Barack Obama was unknown until the Illuminati made him famous by funding his campaign with all kinds of corporate dollars. And, well, that's not going to happen this time around. The Illuminati would never fund my campaign. I'm the last person they even want to deal with. I didn't get a huge scholarship to go to college. I didn't fake all my grades like Obama did. I didn't have a document forged like his birth certificate. I didn't have selective service documents forged like his selective service documents are forged. I'm definitely baptized Catholic, and I was raised up until the age of 11 Catholic. I wasn't in some sort of madrasa. I'm not a Muslim. I didn't grow up in Indonesia. I'm not an alien lizard at all. I have no reptilian ancestry. I know. I'm banking on people being a little bit more intelligent than you, Topper Dan. It doesn't really matter to me how they spell it. I just want them to vote for me so I can pull votes away from Rick Larson. You see, my goal is to actually do everything I can to damage the Democratic Party in a legal manner after what they did to me, cheated in the local state election. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to draw votes away, Democratic votes away from him, so that the Republicans might have a better chance. Absolutely. This guy, Rick Larson, has endorsed the military-industrial complex and refuses to listen to anybody about the dangers to the environment and the 27 million marine mammals that are going to die. Well, that's really the truth. I know. 2016 is going to be great. Yeah, it would be cool, Alpha Dog, to talk to an animal, and you know what? They'd be going like, I have to defecate. They'd be saying like, give me more food. I'm just mimicking what could be a potential sign language event. Let me see if I can get my sign language guy to come on the show. Hang on. He's in my local recording bin. Somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah, here we go. If any of you want specific sign language, Meow TV gave me this link. This is the guy that crazily got in there and pretended like he was doing sign language at the event in Africa, the death of Nelson Mandela, the known terrorist that killed many people. Yeah, this guy came in there, he's psychotic, and he was accused in a murder attack on some villagers in South Africa. He was one of the named accused, and he somehow got within a foot of Barack Obama and started doing this, pretending to sign language. Okay, moving on. He was having a lot of problems. He claimed he was having a seizure. Nope. No, I don't really care at all if the Republicans win at this point. We need balance. And you Democrats and Obama-tards have allowed Obama to lead us astray fiscally. He's been the worst spendy president ever. He never followed your mandate. And you're so hooked on power now, you Democrats are not willing to relinquish it. So I'm going to do everything I can at this point to assist the Republicans in winning the 2014 midterm elections. And I'll run too, as an independent, absolutely. And I urge everybody to start getting balance here, because what we've seen now is a reckless, democratically led Senate, a reckless, democratically led president who has no clue as to how to negotiate with the right. Well, Kentucky man, I left an entire plan for Iraq in 2008 on our website, and it's still there. It's a plan to actually build a small rail line from Basra to Baghdad using Army Corps of Engineers safely. We'll maintain security around the perimeter at all times. Working with the Iraqi Army, we will secure a pipeline, essentially, of transportation. Now, the rail line will definitely provide a serious solution to the supplies and the needs of the Iraqi people, especially near Baghdad. But most of all, we'll be able to get oil out of that area and modernize the oil wells and make it more of a long-term perspective, a containment policy, very similar to the policy of Harry S. Truman. You see, the people, now, boots on the ground won't be necessary in a big way. I will not send more troops into Iraq. We're going to handle this using automated methodology. Well, I'm going to definitely charge Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi with aiding and abetting a forgery and possible treason. The ISIS situation is not what you might think it is, believe it or not. We do have to retaliate with surgical strikes. I've been saying that for 6 weeks. But mostly we have to get the CIA to back off because they've been funding ISIS forces, moving in the opposite direction to what Maliki has wanted to do. The reason that evolved was because Maliki was siding a lot with the Iranian government, putting us in a vulnerable position. I'm not encouraging appeasement. Our enemies are not Prime Minister Maliki. You're confused. We installed that regime through democratically led elections. We're not going to charge anyone until we prove beyond a reasonable doubt and know for a fact we can make it stick. But yes, Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid are responsible for not vetting Barack Obama and his illegal documentation. I can prove with certainty that Barack Obama forged his birth certificate. And I can prove with certainty that he has actually gone way overboard to create cover-ups like Abbottabad and Benghazi. Well, I appreciate it. I'm a Pisces. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Hey, I'm not here to be your carbon copy presidential candidate. I'm a complete original. I'm not in any way going to give you the same line of crap that Obama gives you. Well, make no mistake about it. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Go ahead. I won't do that. I'm a person who's going to strike out on my own. I'll take my heat and my hits, and I'm going to respond instantaneously to the problems as opposed to consult my speechwriters and have the teleprompter set up in front of me. It's going to be real-time, virtual presidency. I'll make mistakes, admittedly, but everyone does, and I'm not afraid to admit mistakes. Obama is. He's got a big ego problem, and he's not willing to just keep moving forward to help our country. He's placed his ego in front of world peace when he called Vladimir Putin a jackass. Well, frankly, the people that are currently in Iraq are vulnerable, and Barack Obama better be damn well sure we're on the same page here, because those men that have been sent in there better be heavily fortified to deal with potential rebel forces taking him out. I wouldn't doubt it, yeah. I was born in the U.S., yes, Los Angeles. I was born in Santa Monica at St. John's Hospital in 1960. My mother had me right next to a famous person having their child. I'm not going to say who, but a famous actress was having her child the same day I was being born. And I was, you know, just like every other American, grown up in America in the early days, in the 60s. I used to swim in the beaches of California, Huntington Beach, Redondo Beach, and I had a very idyllic childhood up until the age of 5, when everything changed. My mother had a serious car accident. I no longer had that mother next to me taking care of me. I was kind of thrust into the world, kindergarten, the whole deal. My mom nearly died in a car accident. I've never talked about that on screen, but she survived it to go on forward, but our whole family was affected by her encounter with the car accident. Well, I was very sad. It was a very sad time. At 5 years old, my life changed. I remember the day my mother sat me right on the corner of the street, pinned a note onto my shirt saying, "I'm David Sponheim, and I'm going to my first day at kindergarten." And she left me there. I stood there for a half an hour waiting for the bus. This is my first experience in life on education. I stood there for a half an hour waiting for the bus, not knowing what the future was like, not knowing what education was like. She basically just dropped her son in the corner and pinned a note onto him. Yeah, that was my mom at that time after her car accident. No, I'm just telling you guys some personal stories that'll all appear in my biography. Don't worry about it. It is really sad when you think about it, but my life isn't, you know, a case of sadness. It's a case of opportunity. I seize all opportunity in front of me. Well, I don't know. It changed my life when I was put there in the corner and forced to perform as a, you know, trained monkey. And now that I went through the public school system, I had unbelievable headaches at the early age of 7. I was suffering from massive migraines. I had projectile vomiting in class. The teachers didn't know what to think of me. I told my mother, I said, could you please put me in a Montessori school? Because I had so much intelligence, I was being stifled by the public school system. And they couldn't afford a Montessori school. So I went through the public school system, and out popped that pile of poop called the graduate. Yeah. I would have gone to Harvard, but I was not allowed to go because they turned me down. I was #1 out of my high school class with the top SAT scores, and Harvard rejected my application. No, I don't need psychiatric treatment or psychotherapy. I've come to grips with all the things that have happened in my life, and I'm working out pretty well. Everything's good. I couldn't be better off than I am right now, I'll tell you that. Well, I just don't really think that it was in my track in life to become a corporate pig and suck up to all those corporate piggies that are currently running our government into the ground for their own personal gain. I think my pathway was meant to be this way. I was meant to be one of you. I don't blame anybody, but you can if you want. Jewish people are currently operating, a large amount of them are operating in our banking community. More than 80% of the people in the banking community are Jewish. And more than 85% of the people in Hollywood are Jewish. More than 80% of the country are Jewish doctors now. And I'm just saying this is a fact. Let's do some coffee. Yeah, let's relax a little bit. But no, life isn't exactly perfect. And I realized that at a young age, is what I'm saying. And when you go through a lot of emotional trauma in youth, and I did, when you get beaten up many times, and I did get beaten up because my father taught me that it takes a stronger man not to fight back. And this is coming from a guy who killed over 100 people in battle, won awards for it. He did not want his son to beat people up. Even though I have the ability to beat people up, I've always honored the idea that it takes a stronger man not to fight back. Yeah, I think he won the Purple Heart and a couple other things. Yeah, my dad was a very... No, this is not BS. This is true. So here I was, a young boy, being able to seriously defend myself, but forced, because what my father told me, forced to not fight back in battle. Because he told me it took a stronger man. And I really wanted to impress my dad, so I didn't fight back. And I got beaten up numerous times. And I can round back to the horsies, okay? It kind of culminated in about 1971. I was at a summer camp in California, and it culminated in some really bad events happening in my life. And I got near those animals, and they started curing me. They started making me feel better. It was the strangest, weirdest thing. They soothed my inner soul. And I'll tell you, thank you. I'm not lowering the age of consent. It's currently appropriate in Washington. I think that, yes, Linda Blair did projectile vomit. That's correct. I know. We don't have any viable candidates anywhere. Republicans don't have a good guy like me, and the Democrats don't have a good guy like me. No, I don't need a degree in law. I'm not planning on becoming a liar. You know that in the 13th Amendment, before the Civil War, actually said that lawyers can't become politicians? Well, hey, guest 895, this is me. I have always pursued this track of nonviolence. I never punch people in the face, no. No, I've been totally nonviolent all my life. Yeah, they gave him the Purple Heart, that's right. It was an award, yeah, for valor. But my dad didn't make a big deal about all of his awards. I remember him opening his drawer one day, and I looked in it. I said, "What are all these things, Dad?" He said, "Well, it's just a bunch of BS. I'm going to throw them out." I said, "Well, you got a beautiful Purple Heart here. I mean, come on." I don't want to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about all those years that he had to sleep with dying, dead bodies and corpses and maggots. He had to build protection around him with bodies. He didn't want to talk about that. Okay, it's for valor. Okay, thank you. I didn't know. I didn't track my father's awards, but he got wounded and he got a Purple Heart. He had other awards too. I'm sure we'll look it up later and vet it. But my dad never made a big deal about all those things he had In fact, one day I opened the drawer and it was all gone. I said, Dad, what happened to all your awards? Oh, I threw them out. Thank you. But my dad took a shrapnel injury in World War II and ended up getting, I guess, the Purple Heart for being wounded. All right. I know. Thanks for clarifying that. I don't really track a lot of the military jargon because, as you know, I'm not military. My family was, but I'm not. Sarah doesn't look stressed out. We're handling a show here. She's just not really talking a lot.
I was just reading about this reporter that was, 2 reporters that were arrested this evening while covering protests in Ferguson, Missouri.
Oh, okay. So they were covering the protests and they were arrested, huh? So they don't want the news to get out, so the reporters are being arrested? They were released unharmed, but their detentions highlighted the town's ramped-up police presence, which left numerous residents injured by rubber bullets, pepper spray, and tear gas. Boy, the people of that town are really up in arms, aren't they? What is the issue, mostly about jobs, or was there some police brutality involved here? What's the reason why are they protesting? Do you know?
Yes, they're protesting because a police officer in that